What if the hour changing is not just about saving energy? Twice a year we move the clock. We were told it reduces lighting use and gives us more daylight in the evening. That's the official story beyond what started in 1916 in the German and Austro-Hungarian Empires and later became law in many places through the idea of daylight saving time. But what if there is another layer? Because when you shift the clock, you shift rhythm, and when you shift rhythm, you touch biology. From this thread of knowingness, we move to something even older, martyrdom. From an energy point of view, a martyr is not just someone who suffers for a cause. A martyr is someone who turns suffering into identity, who uses pain as proof, who says, "Look how much I endure, and that makes me right." And this energy is everywhere, in politics, in religion, in families, even in personal development. Beyond this thread, we found a new one, maybe the most important one. In a world where information moves faster than thought, how do we distinguish knowledge from noise? So, today I want to explore with you what happens when time is manipulated, what happens when suffering becomes currency, and how to anchor yourself so deeply in your own inner compass that you no longer need to be pulled by either. Take a breath, and let's begin weaving these threads together. I'm Adela Ciurea, and I welcome you to the 17th episode of Diary of an Inner Explorer. The hour changing, that refers to the practice of adjusting clocks forward or backward to make better use of daylight. This is commonly known as daylight saving time, DST, and it's done twice a year, a spring forward and a fall back. So besides the usual explanation for this practice that it is to save energy by reducing artificial lighting, and it gives more daylight hours for outdoor activities. Is there another explanation? Vasi, what do you perceive?
I just see some black lines, but it's something that is disrupting me.
There is something disrupting you right now
Yes,
when you wanted to see this information?
yes.
Okay. Mirela, what do you perceive? Just disconnect from this, Vasi. Okay. Mirela?
Think it was an attempt to confuse, disconnect, to kind of mess with the rhythm of the natural rhythm of things. And I say it's an attempt because there are ways to mitigate it for those who know and they're aware of this. And, there are ways to learn how to neutralize this and continue to remain in tune with the rhythm of nature and disregard the symbology of the modern clocks. As we know, also calendars are several types, several kind of calendars. So the same with the clocks. The real time is one thing, and whatever it shows, but whatever it's shown by box, that's another thing. But it's definitely with the attempt to confuse and disrupt and the harmony harmony between people and the way they function, everyday routines.
Why is it important, from this point of view, to do it every 6 months?
It's like the dualism, yin and yang. It's being done twice. So there's the opportunity for one to balance or cancel out for the other. It's also to be able to preserve the regular matrix or the regular pattern. So it has to be moved back. Otherwise, it would just create unnecessary complications. And even just by doing it twice, mainly the first one, the one that's changing, because the second one is just changing it back, that's enough to cause significant disruption.
But we also know that actually the real time from the sun, it's 1 hour extra of difference. So we are not on the right time, let's say, in brackets, the right time, real time. We never know it. Like our clocks are never showing it. So we are in all time disruption if we take this for our reality, but we can be all the time in harmony if we connect to our inner knowingness. True?
So yeah,
Oh,
that's why I mentioned that real time is one thing. The clocks show, that's another thing.
okay.
The attempt is continuously create a disruption, so we are not in sync with nature. So unfortunately, for those who are not aware, this can cause it's an impact on several levels, wise as well as functional, daily functioning in society.
Okay. So I have another question. Today it was more about the afterlife or something that's a bit gloomy, like this kind of hour and the tombstones. Let's stay in the same subject, more or less. Let's talk about martyrs. A martyr is a person who suffers or dies for their beliefs, often due to their commitment to a cause or faith. The term is typically associated with individuals who face persecution or death because of their religious, political, or ideological convictions. What does martyrdom mean from an energy point of view? What means to be a martyr, suffering sometimes in order to make a point? How do you perceive me, Adela?
Several things at the same time. One is that it's unnecessary. Another one that if it's done, it's like an outburst of energy. It's like equivalent of the solar storms, when like we get like some of the solar outbursts. Because whenever it does happen, the impact of it can be huge, and it can help many, many other souls in the right way. But it also has the possibility of confusing many, many souls. Depends on the situation. The first aspect where it's unnecessary is because every soul has its own individual journey and it's all lessons to learn. So really there is no need for one of them to experience what they experience. And another aspect is the fact that in one way it's like the soul escaping this realm and going back home faster, or depending on the type of experience, through the fact that they decide to move forward, even though they know the consequences, they can clear all their contracts. And it's just another way that they can do it, even though there's no need for that. That can be done, as we know, in many other ways, but that's one way. It's a more intense or painful way to do it. But it's the equivalent of a hurricane as opposed to a small whirlpool in a puddle.
Okay. So you said you saw multiple aspects. It was unnecessary, and if it's done, it's like a burst of energy. Did you perceive another one?
Yes, the other one was that they can also clear contracts, like what the equivalent of some could call like previous karma.
Okay.
That can happen as well, but it really depends on each scenario. They're not all the same, especially if that's because of the wrong beliefs or ingrained beliefs, or due to programming, or just simply something that's not in tune with true inner knowledge. Then besides the fact that it's unnecessary, it just leads to another completely other path later for the soul.
Okay. But did you perceive something else?
My sense of it that it is useless, as Mirella said, and this question gave me a lot of anxiety
Why?
because it is used here, this world, as a way to manipulate other souls, other people, the people which are not very conscious of their own being. So I sense that it's useless, but it is used here as a manipulation method. You can learn from it, but still, for me, it's manipulative, and I don't like the energy that comes with it.
Let's see, like in a timeline of a great teacher, whatever, there are many great teachers that suffered as martyrs. Just pick one and just see, is it possible that his or her teachings might come to people's ears without this martyrdom effect? Yes or no?
Not really. No.
Why? Why?
Because they are blinded.
Okay.
So
is this something like attracting attention? Like what you see today in the news, it's everything about something bad, so that our attention gets attracted to that.
Yes. So people are more attracted to tragedy than listening to how can they do stuff without hurting themselves first, because people hurt themselves, and by hurting themselves they are hurting the others. So it's more easy to see the tragedy than to actually check in within you and find a way to find a solution in a different way, not to create tragedy.
Is it possible in today to have somebody come as a great teacher and as an amazing teacher? I just had a conversation 2 days ago with my doctor in confidence, let's say that. So she told me, like, well, if Jesus were to came now, nobody will see him or understand him. Let's just say this kind of figure, like a big teacher would come, real teachings. How would it be possible that today to get to be heard?
It's not impossible, but it's very hard these days to distinguish between what's real and what is not.
Okay, now your turn to give us a recipe. How do you distinguish what's real and what it's not?
Well, first of all, you have to sense it in your body, to listen to yourself.
How do you sense it in your body? Explain a little bit. What should you feel, for example?
Well, when something is good, you can feel it in your gut. And also when something is not good, you can feel it in your gut. It's a different feeling. So when something is not good, you sense it in your gut, but your gut is very stressed and anxious and tense.
Yes.
So and the energy stays there like a rock. It's but when something is good, it can give you happiness. You can sense the energy flowing in your gut, and you can sense the joy and the excitement. But the excitement doesn't drain you from energy. It gives you energy. It fills you with energy. And it's also, the energy is not because it's calm and peaceful.
What do you say, Mirela? If a great teacher would come, how can he maybe heard? He, her, whatever. Because I can ask you the same question about how would you see on a timeline or a great teacher? Is it possible to pass the teachings without this martyrdom thing?
I'd say yes. So there's a few things I noticed. For example, in a case of Jesus,
Let's say a teacher like Jesus, because I think there are many teachers that were like him, and this is just it's one of many.
okay,
Okay, just
so
not focus only on that one, please.
okay, it can be any similar case that
Mhm.
where a lot of the faith of the people, the faith that was passed to the people was built on guilt
Yes.
and on raising suffering on a pedestal, something like a program, for example, that was always told people, no matter how hard, how much they suffered, to not worry about it because nothing comes close to the suffering of their
Mhm.
beloved martyr, whoever
Yes.
that was. Okay, so especially during that time, as Vasilika mentioned about pain, that people, many people, they are so addicted to pain that that's the frequency where they hang out. That's where they most of their life. It's swimming in that frequency. So they resonate with pain mostly. It's like pain is the medium that was used to reach to the masses and communicate with them and to manipulate them. So when we come to the present, there's many humans, people now that they live in a different paradigm. It's not so much about pain, rather the biggest obstacle these days seems to be the distraction, the instant gratification, overstimulation. They are so connected to outside distractions, including what's coming through their devices.
Mhm.
They have very little time to stay in silence, to be quiet, to be comfortable with themselves, to not only listen to their bodies, but to actually hear the message that comes back. Not even listening, but hearing, that's even less.
Mhm.
So the issue with that is that even if a beautiful message comes to them, even if it's through the most amazing media, so to say, technology, which allows one to reach millions within seconds. The issue with that is that many humans, they're so used to that instant stimulation and gratification that they might not recognize the meaning of that message because of the yin and yang, the dark and light. Like humans will appreciate light only after they experience darkness. If it's always light, after a while, they don't even notice
Mhm.
which light is the good light. So at the same time, there's many souls that they they understood that they've been manipulated in the past. They learn from the fact that now they can all communicate across continents. They can learn from each other's multi-generational wisdom, and they can start to put the pieces together. And what I sense, this is just based on looking everything, what I sensed that the opportunity is bigger than any time before on this timeline to reach many people very quickly and effectively. Because those who are on the right frequency, they will recognize the energy signature right away. They will
Yeah,
know
but how
that
this
is good for them.
energy, how it is energy, pass beyond the noise of distraction and the instant gratification need and the zapping mode? How would
It will
you know?
pass the exact same way that all the other messages are out there. There is no competition really. It seems like it, but there is that inner knowledge that the right message reaches the right people at the right time.
Mm, so,
Or some will call it miracle, but miracles exist every second.
yes, good. With these wise words, I think we can end for today. Today we saw that what we call daylight saving time is not neutral to the body. We felt how martyrdom can sometimes give a sharp burst of energy, but also how it can trap us when suffering becomes identity. We remember that guilt has been used across history to build faith and loyalty. And we came back to something simple. The body knows. Our body tightens around noise and it softens around truth. If you are carrying questions for which the usual answers feel thin or incomplete, write them in the comments. Let them be seeds. We will explore them together. See you next week for another inner exploration adventure about blue. Blue as color, music, energy, or symbol of esoteric and initiates. Until then, loom your reality.